Hey everyone, Digital David here. Today in this video, I'm going to be checking out the OKP L1 Lidar navigation robot vacuum. I did receive this sample to review, but any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. That being said, if you're interested in this RoboVac or you want to find out more about it, the link to this vacuum cleaner will be in the video description. Here's a look at the retail box and packaging. Everything looks great. We just have a very simple sticker on the back side right here walking us through the model number, the L1, and the color is blue. Now let's go ahead, let's open it up and look at the contents. Looking for a secure and reliable way to access the internet? Look no further than ExpressVPN. Protect your personal information and browsing history from prying eyes. Act now and sign up for ExpressVPN today using our link in the description and receive an extra 3 months of service for free. Here are all the contents. First up, we have our user guide and manual walking us through everything we need to know about our new robot vacuum cleaner. Very detailed and thorough instructions, step-by-step, app setup with QR code. I mean, they have you covered. Look at all the details here. Helpful charts, diagrams, troubleshooting, all of that. Warranty information, tech specs, and they have their customer service and contact information. Next, you'll see we have an extra air filter, 2 side cleaning brushes. We have our power supply. We have our detangling multi-tool. We have our charging base. You'll see the 2 charging contacts with a really cool design and pattern. It's not just your typical boring black. Cable management built into the back side here. Love to see that. 4 nice grip feet. And then lastly, we have the vacuum itself. Let's look at this in more detail. So this is definitely one of my favorite colors of a RoboVac I've ever reviewed. I love the blue that we have here. It's kind of a blue tinted green. That's the best way I would describe it, with the cool gray accent mixed in. OKP logo and branding, indicator light, LiDAR navigation module, power button and control. Looking at it from the side, you'll see we have our on and off switch here. Then we have a sensor in the bumper, sensors in the front. You'll notice on this side, we don't have any additional sensors there. Looks like we have some in the back. Then we have our removable dustbin. So we can easily just pull that out. QR code to the app to download, cleaning instructions. Everything's right there for you on the cover. Opening up reveals the already installed filter there. Again, we have an extra one that's been included. And all the room to dump out all of our contents. We can easily empty this as needed, and then it just snaps right back in place there. Let's flip it over. You'll see on the bottom we have our spring-loaded drive wheels, main brush roller right there that we can easily remove, replace, and clean as needed. We have our cliff sensors, charging contacts, omnidirectional wheel, and we have our side cleaning brush attachment spot. Just snaps right in place. Now let's go ahead, let's charge this up and try it out.
Start charging.
All right, so we got our first clean out of the way. Let's see how the vacuum looks. We're gonna flip it over here. Take a look at the main brush roller. Not too bad. We do have some tangles already from carpet fiber and threads as well as human hair. So you will want to make sure that you're properly maintaining, cleaning, cutting away everything as needed. Now let's look at the contents of our dustbin. You'll see we're spilling them out right here. So, oh, very full already. Can we gently open this without making too big of a mess? Look at that. Look at all the pet hair, but I'd say almost more importantly, look at all the really fine dirt and dust that the filter's able to pick up right there. So it's covering a wide range of dirt, dust, debris, objects. We got a lot of food crumbs and things down below, as well as the pet hair and human hair. But look at that.
I mean, just get a look at that.
Crumbs, fine dirt and dust with that filter, making sure it's trapped in there. And then pet hair. See a couple of little pieces of rock, mulch, grass, all that good stuff. Really disgusting. Also pretty impressive. Really quickly, I wanted to show you the mobile app. This is what's going to look like when you pull it up. You can see your vacuum, charging status, last clean, things like that. We have this more features button. This is where you're going to find a nice detailed and thorough map of our clean. So here's the whole house, the first floor, the path it took. Really cool. From here, then you could set up like a no-go zone, just drag and drop. You can have multiple areas. Maybe you got kids' toys, charging cords, pet area, whatever it may be. You can do that right there. You'll see our clean time, the area cleaned, and then all of our controls. Start a clean, go back to the dock to charge, different suction mode settings. We can find the robot if it's lost in our house. Schedule settings, remote control, we can manually drive it here. You'll see we have our upgrades, and then we have additional settings about our particular vacuum. We can manage our map. This does not have multi-level mapping at the moment. Maybe that'll come with the future over-the-air update that's happened in other vacuums in the past, so we could hold out hope there, but currently right now, that's not supported. Continue clean, we can turn that on or off. We can view the records of our clean right here, and it does give you a detailed breakdown of the clean with a map. So we can look at like this one too. You'll see right there what it was able to clean. And then we have some additional controls. We can also remove the vacuum from our account. So it's a simple app with a nice map. By now, you're probably wondering, how does this vacuum stack up against the competition? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're going to take a look at a couple of key specs to see how it compares within OKP's own product lineup, as well as within the over 30 plus RoboVacs that we've covered here. First, we're looking at the max suction power. You'll see our L1 has a 3800 PA rating. That's going to be above the brand average of 2800 PAs and slightly above the average across all vacuums we've tested. Next, you'll see max CFM. This one combined with the previous stat will give us a good indicator of how good of a job the vacuum is going to do in our deep cleaning test. So we got a score of 9.1. That's above the brand average of 8.6 and pretty substantially above average of all vacuums tested. And you may have guessed it, with our deep cleaning test, we got a 90%. The brand average was 78 and all tested was 85. So again, thanks to some of those other metrics you're seeing in the real world with our deep cleaning test, that we are seeing the same great performance in our deep cleaning. In regards to decibels, we're showing 73 decibels. That's above average for both the brand and all units tested. But honestly, having this side by side with other vacuums, you wouldn't really be able to tell. Battery life's measured in minutes. You'll see we got 150 minutes for the L1. That's going to be above average for both the brand and across the board. Next is our battery capacity measured in milliamp hours. So again, above average as you would expect due to the longer runtime. We have a larger battery. Again, not always a one-to-one exchange there, but you'll see for this particular unit, it's definitely one of the indicators as to why it's able to last a little bit longer than the average. Height measured in inches is 3.7 inches. That is average for any Lidar navigation unit. You'll see across the brand, they have a lot of models that don't have Lidar, so they run a little bit smaller in height. Same can be said for the units tested. Again, we have a mix and match of units with or without. Typically, if they have the Lidar module, they're going to be 3.6 or 3.7 inches. Bin capacity is 500 milliliters for the L1. That is the brand average and slightly above average across the board for all the vacuums that we reviewed. But there's an asterisk there because I want to point out that typically you can expect larger bin capacities in models that don't come with a self-empty base because, well, you guessed it, the self-empty base. Last but not least, we have cost. So OKP is known for making very affordable and budget friendly vacuums. That holds up true with this particular model as well. You'll see it's slightly above brand average, but that's because it has Lidar navigation, but it's well below the average unit that we've tested here. And I would argue you're getting above average performance for what you're paying. So after using the OKP L1, let me share with you my final thoughts. First thing I want to say is my favorite feature has nothing to do with performance or spec. It's actually the color of this vacuum. I've always liked the colors OKP has, and they did a great job with this vacuum as well. It's just very refreshing and nice to see out there in a very boring market in regards to the colors of RoboVacs. Now, with this vacuum in particular too, you'll notice we have our Lidar navigation module. That's the big thing here with the OKP brand. We finally have Lidar navigation. It does a great job mapping very quickly around your house while it's cleaning. No issues there, but I do want to point out that this particular unit does not have multi-level mapping support, which is a big bummer because typically you get that with vacuums that are equipped with navigation like this. So maybe, just maybe, that'll come in the future. I'm not really sure. I also want to point out while we're talking about that, typically when you're at this sort of feature set with the RoboVac, you probably have a little bit of wiggle room in your budget to get a self-empty base. And I feel like that's a pretty big miss here, that we don't have a self-empty base with this unit. Maybe that'll come in the future. I'm not really sure, but I think most people out there would spend a couple extra bucks to unlock that feature, just like you're spending a couple extra bucks to get a vacuum that has more premium navigation. Other than that, at this price point where it currently sits, Lidar, no self-empty base, I thought the price was competitive-ish. The ish is, hopefully, like their other products, they typically run really good deals, promos, things like that to make this worthwhile. As it currently sits, there's actually better options out there that come with a mopping module for the same price and feature set here, and they support multi-level mapping. So for me, I'd love to see the price decrease a little bit, or they can keep it the same and give us a mopping module with our vacuum. So that's where we're at with the OKP L1.